Oh my God. I don't even know where to begin. Chaos everywhere. Chaos everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, after every loss, all we want to talk about is transfer market. There's news about Victor Osimhen again, and we're very serious about that. So we'll talk a little bit about that. There's some news in regards to Mauricio Pochettino, who publicly stated yesterday post-match that no player is going to have a day off. Everyone's going to go to the hotel and next morning come out and there'll be training session. Apparently that was an empty threat, so we'll talk about that. But most importantly, I really want to talk about this particular image, a particular video you guys will all see on social media. You cannot miss it. You cannot miss it. This particular picture of Nicolas Jackson celebrating with the Villarreal team in Spain off the back of their victory tonight. And it goes something like this. Nicolas Jackson has been spotted back in Spain today in the Villarreal dressing room. As I said, there's a video that's circulating around. Do check that out. I want to paint a picture for you guys. And this is where I need each and every one of you guys to comment. And I want to see what majority of you guys feel about this particular situation. I want to actually share a tweet and then we can elaborate on it. This is what I tweeted out off the back of seeing that particular picture, right, of Nicolas Jackson. I said, when I have a bad day in the office, believe me, you won't see me out and about that night or even the night after. Even if I'm out, then you'll see me disgruntled as I'm focusing on how to get back into the office next day and rectify the situation. Honestly, for me, this isn't normal behavior from a player when they get pulverised 4-1 the day before in an embarrassing manner, especially when your performance was pathetic. Just saying. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, is this normal? Where is the pride? Where is the emotion of disappointment? I don't know about you guys, and maybe this is the older generation of in me that's kicking in. I'm telling you right now, and I always like to provide a real life example with what is happening in football so that we can connect and understand the situation. I've had bad days at work. I've had bad days at work. I've made mistakes and I've felt really bad. Honestly speaking, I don't have the strength inside me once I've had a bad day at work on that same night or the following night to go out and have a really good time. I just don't have that strength in me. I have a bad day. I come home. I may talk to my family about it just to sort of ease the situation. And I'm focusing on next day how to rectify the situation and get better and make sure that I don't make those mistakes again. Because I know time for celebration, time to go out will come again. I know it will come again. I can't hide my emotions. That's the type of character I am. Because I pride myself on what I do in terms of my work. I take it seriously. I try to be a high performer. I hold myself to a certain degree, a certain level. I can't have a poor day at work where I know I've let my team down, I've let myself down. I can't then come home, tell my family, let's all go out, let's have a fantastic time. And in this case, Nicolas Jackson goes to a different country and he's celebrating with Villarreal. Maybe he's celebrating because he doesn't get to celebrate with Chelsea often enough. But I find this odd behavior, man. I really do. And I feel like this is probably one of the root issues in Chelsea Football Club at the moment, where the attitude is carefree. You look at the situation we're in right now this season, and off the back of what happened last season, and I know Nicolas Jackson's got no recollection of what happened to us last season because he wasn't part of it, so he doesn't feel it, but he's there now. We've barely had any wins this season after 13 matches. All Nicolas Jackson has seen so far is a plethora of losses and disappointments. And he himself has been part of that disappointment. It's not like Nicolas Jackson can say, do you know what, I'll put my hand up. I've probably been one of the better players. I've probably been someone who's been consistent. No, not at all. If I'm getting trounced, if I'm getting walloped, if I'm getting pulverized 4-1 in such a bad manner, I honestly don't have the mental or the physical strength to 24 hours later get on a plane or however else he's gone to Spain and celebrate with another team and their success. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, let me know, is this normal behavior or am I overreacting? Especially, as I said, when my performance was poor as well. When Nicolas Jackson's performance against Newcastle was probably a 2 out of 10, it was poor, it was pathetic. How do I find the strength? All I'm thinking, if I'm if I was Nicolas Jackson, I'm thinking, man, I just want to forget this Newcastle situation. I want to go home, and I can't wait for training session next. I want to try and rectify this situation. I'm not in the mood to go out and celebrate. I just want to stay focused because that was not good enough. That was not good enough. I know a lot of people will say, no, it's a free world. Let them do. What do you want them to do? Just go home and cry in the bed? Maybe this is the way they cope with struggles. Really? This is the way to cope with struggles? For me, this gives me this is why a lot of people say this is an immature team. This is a team that just seems to be too carefree. They don't understand the seriousness of the task ahead of us. It's all about mindset. It's all about preparation. It's all about how you live life. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, for me, this is odd. For me, this is very odd. I can understand if you had played well and just marginally lost and you want to go out and take your mind off it, no problems. When you have that type of a performance against Newcastle, and mind you, we've had some bad performance all throughout this season. Where do you find the audacity to then go to your ex-club and celebrate a victory with them? I don't know. I'm quite baffled. I'm absolutely quite baffled by this, because for me, this is what I feel is one of the major issues at Chelsea at the moment, because it kind of gives me the impression we're not serious. We're not serious. And even more so, check this news out. Pochettino has, and that particular situation goes side by side with this. Pochettino has demonstrated anger in an interview after yesterday, suggesting that a normal way to react such a poor result would be to cancel the scheduled Sunday off and to train, but it was just an empty threat and Chelsea players had the day off as planned. This itself looks so poor on Pochettino. So you got Nicolas Jackson out and about in Spain, celebrating with his ex-teammates on their success off the back of him producing an awful display against Newcastle and his team getting pulverized against Newcastle 4-1. And then you have this manager, our manager, who publicly stated that we're going to cancel the day off and we're going to train. And then later we hear from Simon Johnson that that was an empty threat. The entire thing looks so weak. In order to be a high performer, I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, and you guys can tell me how you feel in real life situation, right? Even during my school times, university times, when chasing a degree, my work, in my career, in family, if you want to be a high performer, your mentality has to be correct. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't celebrate, I celebrate. I have a lot of fun. I go out with the family. You guys the people that follow me on Instagram, you'll see the kind of videos I post, the kind of pictures I post. I'm having a lot of fun. But when I'm upset, when I'm down, when I'm critical about myself, I stay focused. I don't have that strength to go out and show a happy face to others because I'm upset with myself. How some of these players are able to do that. And this is a player that, Nicolas Jackson, that I value a lot. I've been backing him. And also some people have mentioned when I posted that tweet out in regards to Nicolas Jackson, that recent incident that he had with the fan, where the fan screamed out at halftime at Stamford Bridge, that mate needs you to score goals. And he attacked that fan. I think all of this is putting a picture of the immaturity that he has as a player and also the immaturity that we have as a team. And all of that, it all comes out in this particular tweet where Simon Johnson is saying that was an empty threat from Pochettino. All of this kind of paints a picture that it's a weak mentality at the moment at Chelsea Football Club. It's weak, it's ill-disciplined, and the mindset is of a carefree nature. It needs to change because what people fail to understand is the Premier League is difficult. You're coming across teams that are working hard, that are thriving for success, that are putting their heart and soul on the line to succeed. There is no easy games in the Premier League. You look at Manchester United, who ended up winning today. I fully thought Everton was going to get a victory. This is a Manchester United team that has not done well this season, yet they are so far ahead of us. So many will say we're a better team than Manchester United, but yet they're so far ahead of us. You look at Aston Villa, for instance. Since Unai Emery took over, now what kind of project are they doing over there? Unai Emery took over Aston Villa, I believe, last season. Steven Gerrard had them close to relegation. Unai Emery comes in, and now they're flying. They're in top. They're a top 4 team now. I'm pretty sure they're in the top 4 or close to it. What sort of project are they running there? We need to really fix up, ladies and gentlemen. We need to fix up. Now, let's talk about this transfer news. After every loss, obviously, we want to talk about transfers because that's the only way we get our pleasure, the excitement, right? The Telegraph, exclusive. Chelsea will make Victor Osimhen their top target in January with the forward set to be open to a move to Chelsea. So, look, I think more and more this is getting realistic. More and more this is becoming realistic. We're going to have to do something. If we're going to have players like Nicolas Jackson who are not going to be serious about the task ahead of them as a striker of Chelsea Football Club, and a manager like Pochettino, who I think now really needs to start becoming ruthless. He needs to demand a lot more from his team, or else his job is on the line. We can't have one good performance, which we don't even win against Manchester City, and then we have a loss. One win, draw, loss, another win, draw, loss, couple of more losses. It can't be like that. I'm telling you, the owners, sooner or later, when their bottom line starts hurting, when they financially are getting hurt, when there's no revenue coming into Chelsea Football Club with no European football, they will start making some drastic changes because they will have to. They will have to. Right now, they start, staying patient with this process and whatnot. And I'm on board with it as well. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned. And Pochettino should be concerned as well. Poch needs to sit down and stop being so nice to all of these players. Nicolas Jackson going off to Spain and celebrating with Villarreal, their success. Come on, man. Poch needs to sit down and say to this entire squad, we need to start winning more games regularly, or else he will be gone. These players will stay. He will be gone. He's got to somehow instill this mindset that you can't lose. You cannot lose. And if you do lose, don't lose the way you lost against Newcastle, where you did not even try. You weren't even in the races. So look, I won't be shocked if we get Osimhen this January and break the transfer market. Our record fee again. Chelsea have a link with Osimhen through Kalidou Koulibaly, who left the club in the summer for Al Hilal in the Saudi Arabia, but has friends at the club. He's close to Osimhen. We also heard John Obi Mikel recently talk about how he wants to broker the deal. I think this might happen in January transfer window. If we keep flopping in the month of December that's coming up, where we can't seem to, in recent times, it's not even been about goals, to be honest. It's about us not being able to defend. But obviously, striker situation is a bit of an issue. You best believe, I think the new owners, the board, they'll probably buy a few players. They'll probably look at the situation that we can't be in the bottom half of the table come at the end of January. Come Christmas period, we can't be at the bottom half of the table. We simply cannot. Because if that's the case, I think our owners will make some drastic decisions. I really do. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea's position is still to trust Mauricio Pochettino. His job is not at risk at this stage. Chelsea know it is a young team and will take some time. The club are not so happy with the current situation and want to see improvements, but owners and directors trust Pochettino. Yeah, look, I've said it. Off the back of this loss against Newcastle, it's not like Pochettino is going to get sacked as yet. No, but continue in this manner, you best believe you will be sacked. Unfortunately, you will be, because financially it will start hurting us a lot, not making into Europe again. So many things are connected to winning games, sponsorships. We won't get the right sponsors if we keep coming 11th, 10th, 12th, 13th, and all of that kind of nonsense. And unfortunately, someone will be accountable. And generally, it's the manager. And right now, once again, I'm not quite happy with what Pochettino has done. He looks a bit weak, saying that we're gonna have a training session today, and then ultimately it seems to be an empty threat. They did end up having a day off. It's quite disappointing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts are in regards to this whole Nicolas Jackson situation, fiasco that's taken place. Let me know what you thought about Mauricio Pochettino's empty threat and this whole Victor Osimhen situation. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, see ya.